He's Logan Ryan, now CBS Sports HQ analyst. You know him as a two-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, and of course, played for the Titans with Mike Vrabel as well. Logan, appreciate you taking the time. How are we doing today, man?
Oh, man, love it. Appreciate you guys reaching out to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to talk to you. Obviously, you have the Patriots perspective, but playing for Vrabel for 3 seasons as well. Him now the head coach of the New England Patriots. What did you make of the Patriots hiring Mike Vrabel, especially the state that the franchise is in right now?
Well, first and foremost, I wasn't a fan of the firing of Mayo. I played with Gerard as well. So I didn't think, nobody that's played in the league or anybody thinks 1 year is fair to turn anything around. But if they were making a decision, they had to make that decision looking forward. I thought Mike Vrabel was the obvious and best choice. And I thought the firing of Mayo had to be to get a guy like Mike Vrabel because he's a player there. He's won championships there. He understands what it means in that area to win championships and to compete for championships. And then, in Tennessee, we were really good as well, winning a coach of the year there, beating the Patriots in Foxborough, which obviously Tom Brady doesn't lose a lot at home or in the playoffs in general. So proven as a coach, proven as a player, coming back, understanding what Kraft might be looking for and Kraft understanding him, I thought he was a top candidate.
Yeah, and I think the biggest need for the Pats as well. You're right. He was a top candidate for someone to come in, establish culture, build the franchise back up. For a guy that played for Bill Belichick, played in New England, won the championships, and then played for Mike Vrabel, you know what the standard is in both ways. But Mike Vrabel, who said he's happy he forged his own path as a head coach, it's all about accountability, it sounds like, for him. It's all about respecting the team, showing up, doing the little things. What is it like? How does he establish that culture? What is it like playing for him and being held accountable?
Yeah, look, I think accountability is a big part to being successful at anything, any team building thing, right? Everyone's got to understand a job on a team, and football is the ultimate team sport. Not everyone can be the star player. Not everyone can score the touchdowns. A lot of people got to do other things and be okay with that. Vrabel always said, I'm going to treat you like how you treat the team. So if you're late or you don't care about the team as a star player or not, I'm not going to be too kind to you. And he was pretty honest about that, and I respected that. Because I was a guy that was used to winning and wanted to win there in Tennessee as well. He did a lot of the similar things as Bill. He brought in the meetings where he showed some lowlights, meaning he showed some tape of some of the top players and some of the bottom players on the roster of them doing it right and then doing it wrong, similar to how Bill did with Tom Brady. That shook a lot of guys up. You saw Taylor Lewan's video when he said it's going to be a tough time when Vrabel comes in if you're one of those players. It's not used to getting talked to like that. But the good thing that I respected Vrabel the most was that he was a player that's won championships. Like, he's done it. He's done this before. He showed you his tape. He's really active on the practice field, putting his hands on offensive linemen, defensive linemen. He's shown his touchdown catches, his little 10 touchdown catches he got. And he jokes with our receivers, I had more touchdowns than you in your career. Look at my tape. So he kind of pulls that former player in him. And I don't care if you're working at FedEx or you're in the NFL. If you want to get better at your job, if you want to get raised, a promotion, if you want to get paid, if you want to win, whatever it is, if you want to hit that end of season bonus, you want to hear it from a guy who's done that before, who's been in your shoes. And also at the same time, you want that guy to get the best out of you, which is, you being accountable to yourself and showing up to work every day to, do a good job.
Logan, it's a joyous occasion here in New England, getting Vrabes back in the helm here, not as a player but as a coach. But I am looking at the flip side of the coin, and I want to ask you if I'm being fair or not. Because in Tennessee, yourself and other players, there were veterans there. So, of course, Vrabel can speak to you guys because you're all grown men, been there, done that, been in the league for a long time. This is a young team here in New England right now, and there's not a lot of talent to begin with. So what message would you give these young players here in New England with Vrabel now as their coach? And also, am I being too hard on him, or is it fair to sort of point out this is a much different Patriots team that he's getting now than what he had in Tennessee with you guys with a bunch of vets?
Yeah, I would say just check his resume. I mean, A.J. Brown's a drafted rookie. Talented as all get out. He's a second-round pick. He wasn't the first receiver drafted. Probably should have been, but he was a second-round pick. That guy ended up making an all-pro, Pro Bowl under Mike Vrabel. Look at Derrick Henry before Mike Vrabel was there. Talented as all get out. He didn't rush for 2,000 yards. He was splitting time with DeMarco Murray when Mike Vrabel got there. Okay, Mike Vrabel made him the lead back, and Derrick Henry's confidence is now a Hall of Fame career. Look at Ryan Tannehill, left from the Dolphins, left for dead on a second team, signed a 1-year, $5 million deal, ends up making Pro Bowls, making a $100 million deal. So I say that to say this, is that there are a lot of situations. When I was a player, I was trying to get to situations where I can win, where I had a good coach end of game that wins close games like Mike Vrabel does. Because if you win, if you make the playoffs, if you perform at an upper echelon, you get paid, either there or elsewhere. I can't name too many players on the Titans roster, young, old, proven or not proven, that didn't outperform their contracts or play really well. Jonnu Smith, tight end out of FIU, he ended up making a deal, getting signed. Bill Belichick paid him to come to New England. Mm-hmm. So I can go on and on the roster, but most of those players got the best years under Mike Vrabel. Most of these guys played really well under Mike Vrabel. I can't name a position group that didn't perform, from receiver to running back to offensive line. We had a top 5 defense. I got paid. Kevin Byard went all pro there. Adoree Jackson played well. Malcolm Butler was playing well, right? Jeffrey Simmons became a household name, all under Mike Vrabel. How does he manage all the personalities? How does he get the best out of every position group? It seems like everybody on that offense and defense played well enough to either earn themselves some AFC championship berths, some playoff victories, or to get paid. Ultimately, that's what it's about, winning and getting paid. That's what we care about in this league.
I love what you listed out, the top 3 guys, the first 3 guys that came to your mind. Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, all offensive players. People are going, well, Mike Vrabel, defensive-minded head coach, I don't know what he can do here. How does Vrabel shine through and just thrive in that way of, his background is all defense, but he knows how to improve everyone in every aspect of the team, every aspect of the game, offense included?
Well, I think it also helps when he hires, these offensive coordinators that end up being head coaches. So while we were there, he hired Matt LaFleur, who ends up after a year going to Green Bay and being a pretty good head coach. He promoted Arthur Smith, who ends up getting a head coach opportunity. So it helps that he identified these guys that weren't offensive coordinators before, gave him an opportunity to be his offensive coordinator, and those guys end up being good enough to be a head coach. So I think he's able to identify some key pieces to build a good staff, which I think is very important of a head coach. And I think we get carried away, like, when it comes to this guy's a defensive coach, this guy's an offensive coach. Mike Vrabel is just a really good football mind. Like, he's really smart. And if you think about it, if you're a defensive player, if I'm a defensive player, I spent so many hours of my life studying DeAndre Hopkins. I spent so many hours studying wide receivers that I feel like I know a lot about what wide receivers do and the routes that they run and what they need to do and how to get in and out of breaks and whatnot, because I spent my whole professional career studying the other side of the ball. So although Mike Vrabel didn't coach, that side of the ball, I think he did this year with Cleveland Browns, he studied that other side. So he knows what to expect. He knows what a run play should average. He knows the hardest run plays to defend. He understood Derrick Henry, the importance of getting Derrick Henry to his 3rd or 4th step, doing run plays where Derrick can get to his 4th step. When Derrick gets to his 4th step, he averages like 10 yards a carry. If he gets touched before his 4th step, he averages like 2. So what run plays can we put in that make sure we get Derrick running? Because once that train is running, nobody's stopping it. And that's what got noticed in Tennessee. Didn't happen the first 2 years of Derrick Henry's career. So I think although he did not coach the offensive side, he understood what he needed from an offense in terms of production. And then therefore, we were able to put together a game plan that was able to beat more teams than we lost to.
Yeah, I love pointing that all out. And obviously all the attention goes to Drake May. That's the guy that you're going to build the team around. But let's say Mike Vrabel now brings in Logan Ryan. Hey, Logan, you're going to be my secondary coach or DC. You're looking at this defense, Logan. Where does he need to start to get it back on track to being a top 5 unit? Plenty of talent, plenty of studs, but what needs to be done to get this Patriots defense to be back to being elite?
I always think you got to build an elite unit on a defense so you can have an identity. So if I have Christian Gonzalez out there, I got to find some rushers, and I got to find somebody that can play alongside Christian Gonzalez, because the number 1 corner value is not that great if you don't have a number 2 or 3 with them. That's the reality. We had myself to play the slot, and we had Adoree Jackson and Malcolm Butler. We had 3 really good corners along with Kevin Byard, all-pro free safety. So we were built from the secondary, right? And we could cover people, and then we can blitz people and generate pass rush because we can cover. So I think you got to have some identity there. Bring another corner in with Christian Gonzalez so you guys can cover people. Then you can bring the blitzes and pressures, but you got to be able to man up. I think cornerback play is so important in pass rushers. That's obviously the NFL nowadays. Guys can get after the passer, but I don't care how great your pass rush is. You got the best pass rush in the NFL. If you don't have good corners or DBs out there, they'll give up touchdowns rather quickly. A fade ball is the easiest ball to throw versus a blitz. You better have someone go cover and match up out there. They have one with Christian Gonzalez. I would focus my defense around that cornerstone there, get some pass rushers and some other cover guys around them.
Logan, last question from me, man. I'm looking at this division. I see Josh Allen. I don't see anything with the Jets that scares me. I don't see anything with the Dolphins. They can't even play outside in the elements, for God's sakes.
Right.
Tyreek Hill's moaning and complaining. I mean, am I crazy, Logan, to think good offseason, you got to have that. Good draft pick at 4. You need to spend some money in free agency. I mean, are we talking about Vrabel turning this thing around quickly? Can we be looking at maybe vying for a wild card next season, Logan, or am I insane?
No, absolutely. Absolutely, because you said it right there. The division outside of the Bills, everyone else is kind of in turmoil. The Jets aren't. Who knows where they're at? And the Dolphins, who knows where they're at with their star players and whatnot. You have a young piece. Everyone in the NFL respects Drake May right now. We like what we see. Can he take that step? You got to be able to protect them. But you have tons of cap space, tons of money to spend, and a top 5 draft pick. If that doesn't get fans excited, that's why Mike Vrabel takes the job. It probably was the best job available with great ownership as well. Because of the amount of cap space you get, a great draft pick and a Travis Hunter or whatever you want to do there. And then you're talking about the young quarterback already in place. Free agents are going to come. You're going to get free agents. You don't have a problem attracting T. Higgins, whoever else. You have to pay for them, but they're not going to say, nah, I don't know about New England. I don't want to live there. I don't know about that place. Free agents will have no problem going to New England. So you're going to bring in some star players in there to put around the quarterback. And you have a young quarterback that's not getting paid. That is the time to suit up and bring those players in. So New England looks like a great destination. And I say, hey, you get some players that Drake made to throw it to, cover some people. The wild card is not out of realm at all.
Hey, man, 9-10 wins, maybe even 8. How the AFC on that bottom half is wide open could get them in. They're on Logan, excuse me. Sorry, I'm thinking of your Rutgers teammate, Deron Harmon there.
There you go, Deron. Shout out to the closer.
Another Rutgers guy. You talked about the accountability from Mike Vrabel. You talked about how he made guys better. What makes you want to play hard for him?
Well, I think because you have a chance to win. Like, I don't necessarily – I'm going to run through a wall for a coach. I want to run through a wall for my family. Like, I want to get paid. I want to win. I want to get more of these trophies behind me. That's how I was motivated. So, to me, Mike Vrabel gave me a chance to win every game. Like, we didn't have a coaching disadvantage. We had an advantage. We had a great game plan. We had the opportunity. We were prepared. So, I was like, all right, guys, we go do our job. We're going to win. And winning cures all. Winning is what it's about at this level. And that's what we do it for, because when you win, good things happen to everybody on the team. And when you have a coach like that, when you have a Sean McVay, when you have a Kyle Shanahan, when you have a coach like that, you feel like you have an advantage to winning. Like, what's our game plan going to be? Oh, yeah, it's going to win. You know, Vrabel's also a game plan coach, meaning he'll switch things up. The offense might look different week to week. The defense might look different. What does it take to win that game? And when you do that enough and you go a game plan, you're like, I don't know about this one, and it works, you're like, all right, I trust my guy. I trust this coach to put us in position to win. He's won as a player. He's won as a coach. He won a coach of the year, and he's having us win close games. He's good with the timeouts. We're not making no mistakes with time management. Oh, yeah, we got an opportunity to win every game. So I feel like that's what it was about. It wasn't about playing hard for the coach. It's like, oh, this coach gives an opportunity to win. I'm all for it.
Hey, man, it's like you said, Taylor Lewan, he laid out, you got to know the janitor's name. You got to know the keys to the game. And then he also said, all those one-score games, you're going to win those. If the Patriots won all their one-score games, they would have won 6 more. Like, they would have had 6 wins on the season.
That's every team in the league. Listen,
every team.
Half your games are going to come down to that. Look at the playoff games or not. Like, they're going to come down to clock management. And does this quarterback know what to do? Can we take care of the ball, right? Look at the Bucs. Right? If they take care of the ball, maybe it's a different story. If the clock management's different, maybe Baker Mayfield gets a chance. Right. I think Vrabel gives you an opportunity. Look, it doesn't always go your way, but half of the games in the NFL are one-score games, and the better coach usually gives you more opportunities than not to win it. And as a player, you're put in that position to win them. You have the ball in your hands. You got to make the catch. You got to play the defense, but you don't want a coach to mess it up. You don't want a coach to not give you the opportunity.
Hey, he's Logan Ryan of CBS Sports HQ. You want to see him making plays? Make sure to watch Logan Ryan on CBS Sports HQ. You can watch him on cbssports.com/live. Catch him in his full coverage. Logan Ryan, great conversation, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Awesome talking Patriots with you and Titans as well.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.